All right, Anuj, why don't you stay with me? I think we also have a reaction of the High Commissioner of India in the United Kingdom. This is Vikram Doraiswamy responding to what has happened so far. We listen in to what he said.
On March 18, Punjab police launched an operation against elements of Varis Punjab Day, against whom criminal cases have been recorded, in particular against Amritpal Singh, the chief of this organization, and some other elements. 4 criminal cases have been filed, including on charges such as spreading disharmony, attempt to murder, attack on police personnel, etc. Around 100 people have been arrested, and only those with criminal charges against them. All persons involved in such criminal offences will be dealt with in accordance with the law, and their constitutional rights of legal defence will be protected. In this context, in the interest of public safety, certain measures had been taken with regard to communications. But I think it is important for people to know that all communication services, including mobile telephone networks, continue to be available, including, as of noon today, for mobile internet services across the state, except in 4 districts, namely Sangrur, Firozpur, Moga, and Taran. That is just 4 out of 23 districts. Even here, mobile voice calls and access to essential services such as banking, hospital, etc. are all available. Across the state, internet access using broadband access has not been affected. There is no restriction on the media reporting, and private channels are continuing to show normal life in Punjab. Indeed, India has just hosted 2 G20 events in the holy city of Amritsar itself, one on education between March 15 and 17, and one on labor from March 19 to 20. Delegates from over 30 countries attended this. This underlines the fact that the situation for travel is normal and that visitors, including from the UK, are safe. Let me assure all our friends here in the UK, especially brothers and sisters with relatives in Punjab, that there is no truth to sensationalist lies being circulated on social media. The situation in your ancestral homeland is not what it is being reported. The elected chief minister of the state and the local police authorities have put out detailed information, including interviews on television. Please watch these. Do not believe the small handful of people putting out fiction and disinformation. As before, our doors are open to talk to you, to anyone with a genuine concern. Our hands are open, and we hope yours are too. Thank you.
And apologies, there was a reaction actually coming in vis-a-vis what's been happening in Punjab and a lot of propaganda that is being spread right now in the UK. We'll just put out the right reaction there on the entire story and the controversy that continues to develop after you've seen the UK and its very timid and meek response to what happened outside the Indian High Commission there in the UK. I also want to get in Major General G.D. Bakshi Saab, who's joining us right now on the phone line. Sir, good evening and thank you for speaking to us on Republic. How would you respond to what you have seen so far and the action by India, where though it is not officially, but we do see, these pictures of a clear security downgrade outside the British High Commission in Delhi?
Look, as per the Vienna Convention, it is the duty of the host country to secure the embassy. The embassy constitutes sovereign territory of a nation in another nation's area. So the callous way in which the security of the Indian High Commission has been treated under the plea that, because of freedom of speech, it's a free for all. Freedom of speech does not imply that the Indian national flag has to be insulted, torn down, brought down. Freedom of speech does not imply that the freedom to attack the Indian High Commission premises and personnel. This is unacceptable. This is not the first time it has happened. This is not an isolated instance. What we find is that across the board, Western countries, especially Canada, Australia, United Kingdom, and there have been also stray attacks in the United States because of a permissive attitude, because of a look the other way attitude. Indian diplomatic property is being attacked. India's sovereignty is being violated. So, there will be quid pro quo. If this is the way you treat the security of the Indian High Commission, we can pay you back in the same coin. This is not on. This is not done. I mean, desecration of the national flag is an insult. And to allow this on the pretext of freedom of speech means that you desecrate the flag. We can have similar demonstrations in India, where how would they react if the UK flag was desecrated? You see, this is gone a bit too far. We are now very certain that this Khalistan 2.0 movement, which Pakistan's ISI is trying to orchestrate, unlike what happened in the 1980s, when we had made some mistakes, there were some internal problems that we had created. The Congress wanted to, counter the Akalis politically, and therefore they had created Bhindranwale who became a bit of a Frankenstein. And the entire problem started from there, and Pakistan exploited the mistakes that we had made. Khalistan terrorism 2.0 is a totally different cup of tea. It is entirely orchestrated in Pakistan with some support, whether official or non-official, whether it is George Soros funding these protests because he set aside $1 billion for destabilizing the Modi regime in India. I mean, he is on public record. So we have to see exactly who is behind the diaspora instigation in Canada, in Australia, in the United Kingdom. And why are the governments turning a Nelson's eye to this outright instigation, to this provocative attacks? You know, this is like giving a wink and nod, go right ahead. The Indian High Commission is easy meat. The mayor of London is Pakistani, former Pakistani. And he can't tell the police to give a free run to Khalistani, hoodlums to attack the Indian embassy, to attack the Indian High Commission, to desecrate the national flag.
Okay.
Is that part of free speech? The same can be done to your properties here. If this is the way you want to play hardball, if this is, I ask you a question. How many demonstrations by the Tibetans have you seen in London against the Chinese embassy? How many demonstrations by the Uyghurs against the Chinese embassy in London? They dare not do that because they know there will be strong responses. And just because we are indulgent, we are tolerant, on the basis that we are members of the Commonwealth, etc., I don't know what else, but this is being taken too far. And the hypocrisy is evident. There is no free speech for Tibetans. Yes. There is no free speech for the Uyghurs, who are really being persecuted, man. And it is a contrived narrative. A narrative, incubated in the Indian diaspora, in Canada, in Australia, in the United Kingdom, and to some extent in the United States. I ask you again, how many protests have you seen against the Chinese embassy?
Like I said, is a new India, where you are not just staring back at the UK, but I think also exposing them and showing them the mirror, sir. Thank you so much. I think you've raised some very pertinent questions about this hypocrisy of the UK that again has been at display and something that New Delhi has called out. And now let's shift our focus to what else has been happening. Remember about this story also in Chandigarh, we've seen widespread protests by the Sikh community who say something like this is unacceptable. Our colleague Harsha was on the spot and she's getting us more details of what the protesters said and what is the kind of action they demand.